The living room was quiet, the evenings hummed the only sound. I lingered at the doorway, suitcase in hand, my heart heavy as I absorbed the scene before me. My wife's laughter rang out, directed entirely at another man. There was a look in her eyes, one meant for him alone, completely ignoring my presence. Every laugh, every playful gesture, every touch screamed betrayal. I didn't speak. I didn't confront her. I simply took a measured step toward the door, bracing myself to walk out of her life forever. Memories of years spent together, love, trust, shared moments, flashed vividly, colliding with the sharp clarity of deceit. I remained composed, silent, resolute. The room seemed to contract under the weight of her actions. Just as my hand touched the doorknob, her voice cut through my resolve. "Wait, don't go." Panic laced every word. It was a jolt straight to my chest. I froze, hand on the door, eyes locked on her, unsure if I even wanted to hear the excuses she was about to pour out. The laughter that had once seemed so natural vanished, replaced by fear and desperation. She stumbled forward, words spilling in a frantic torrent. Apologies, justifications, explanations, each one more desperate than the last. The man she had been so intimate with looked on, stunned, finally recognizing the consequences of crossing invisible boundaries. The friends and neighbors who had been casually gathered fell silent. The room's atmosphere shifted. Betrayal had met its reckoning. Arrogance clashed with patience, and suddenly the balance of power tilted irrevocably. Tears streamed down her face as she sank to her knees. Her voice cracked as she admitted everything. The man she had smiled at and flirted with for weeks wasn't just a passing fancy. She had hidden meetings, concealed messages, and lied to cover every trace. Gasps rippled through the room. Friends froze mid-conversation. Neighbors stifled their reactions. Even the man who had been at the center of this deceit seemed paralyzed. I said nothing. I didn't scold or shout. My calm silence amplified the gravity of her confession. Every revelation of her deception struck harder because I did not react with drama. My composure did all the work. My suitcase waited at the door, a symbol of the life and marriage built on lies that I was ready to leave behind. She begged, faltering over her words, promising change and forgiveness. But my mind was resolute. Trust, once shattered, cannot be rebuilt. Every second of my silence underscored the finality of my decision. The neighbors, friends, and the man she had betrayed absorbed the moment in stunned disbelief. Her panic and pleas filled the room, but they only underscored the reality: I would no longer be hers to manipulate. Taking a deep breath, I let my calm authority settle over the room, unshakable. Every gasp, every frozen stare, every whispered comment reflected her realization. She had misjudged me, and now I held the power. Finally I spoke, measured and deliberate. "This ends now. I'm leaving, and you will never control me again." The words landed heavier than any shouting could. Her cries intensified, her pleas more frantic, but my resolve did not waver. I lifted my suitcase and moved toward the door with quiet authority. Friends and neighbors watched, whispers and gasps rippling through the room, trying to comprehend the magnitude of what had unfolded. The man responsible avoided my gaze entirely, finally grasping the consequences of his actions. Audacity, deceit, and arrogance had been met with precision, restraint, and unyielding self-respect. I needed no theatrics. Silence, timing, and patience carried the lesson far deeper than any argument ever could. She would never forget this, the moment her betrayal met unwavering authority. I walked away slowly, deliberately, leaving the past behind, her lies, her manipulation, her betrayal. Her cries followed me, but I didn't look back. Friends and neighbors witnessed a quiet, calculated lesson in dignity and self-respect. Bridges burned by betrayal remained destroyed. Every call, every text, every attempt to reclaim me would now meet the same unwavering silence that revealed the consequences of crossing me. Weeks later, I reflect on that night as a defining moment. Deception and audacity had been confronted with calm precision, and the chaos she tried to create could not touch me. My wife never again attempted manipulation. The man who caused the turmoil avoided contact. I rebuilt my life around clarity, dignity, and deliberate choice. That night proved one thing: confrontation doesn't require rage. Calm, precise action, timed with patience and composure, can silence arrogance, shatter deceit, and leave everyone in stunned disbelief. I walked away with authority, freedom, and dignity intact, unbroken, untouchable, and fully in control of my life.